We want to bring you to breaking news now in New Hampshire. Officials are giving an update on the search for a 7-year-old girl missing for more than 2 years.
The most allowed through that organization for tips that lead to Harmony being found. Normally, crime line rewards are for information regarding crimes. I'd like to emphasize that the crime line has made an exception and has generously made that exception for this missing child case. Additionally, local businessmen Dick Anignos and Arthur Sullivan have also offered $10,000 for tips that lead to Harmony being found. I want to personally thank the crime line, Mr. Anignos and Mr. Sullivan, for their generous actions on behalf of finding Harmony. I cannot emphasize enough how important any and all tips are. Even if you believe you saw this little girl a year ago or 2 years ago, please call in. Knowing where she was can help us narrow down where she is now. The Manchester Police Department is working with DCYF as well as the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children in every effort to locate Harmony. That tip line again is 603-203-6060. And again, it can receive phone calls and text messages. Please share this information and utilize it. I'm appealing to everyone. Help us find this little girl. Someone knows something, do what is right, and call in. I cannot emphasize that enough. Somebody out there knows something. It's time for people to do the right thing. I cannot say it enough. I cannot emphasize it enough. Someone needs to call in, do the right thing, and provide us information on where Harmony may be. Again, that number is 603-203-6060. Help us find Harmony. At this time, I'll open up to questions, but please understand I will not be discussing details of the investigation. But before I do that, I want to publicly thank Captain Sean Layton and his detectives that have been working around the clock, nonstop, on this investigation, and they will continue to do so until we bring this to the resolution that we all want, and that is locating Harmony.
Chief, can you talk a little bit
Let me finish, please, okay? So with that, I'll take a question.
Can you talk a little bit about the search that took place over the weekend?
Yeah, we were at that address, and that was in connection with Harmony's case, okay? What's important to note that the current homeowner, and I want to emphasize this, the current homeowner at that address has no involvement in this case, other than to say that that homeowner is being extremely cooperative, and I ask that you respect her privacy and anybody's privacy that lives in that residence. Okay, they, again, they are not involved in this investigation other than the fact that they are cooperating and assisting us where they can. And I'll emphasize again, I understand that this case has generated a lot of interest, okay, and people in our community are generally concerned about this child's well-being, as are we, as are the police department and the community as a whole. But we ask people, don't play detective, okay? Don't play police officer. That is our job. That's the men and women's job that work under Captain Layton. People going on social media and circulating their opinions or their theories do nothing for this investigation and are no good and are no helpful in trying to locate Harmony. I ask that you leave that work to where it belongs, and it belongs to the Manchester Police Department. Any other questions?
Chief, can you explain, can you talk to the parents of Harmony? Where are they, and are they being helpful in finding her?
I'm not going to comment on who we've individually spoken to, other than tell you that we have spoken with many, many family members of Harmony, and we will continue to do so as part of the investigation.
But wouldn't it be obvious that the parents would be in charge of their 7-year-old daughter and know where she is?
It seems like a reasonable conclusion to draw, Steve. Other than, I'll reemphasize that we continue to communicate and speak with many, many family members, and I'll take you back to the fact that we're 2 years behind the power curve, all right, in where Harmony should have been, all right, and who she should have been with. She's not with them, and that's why we're doing this, okay, and that's why I'll continue to hone in and emphasize, say something, people, all right, to people out in the community. I don't care who you're affiliated with or who you associate with or what good you think you may be doing by not saying anything. It's time to be an adult, and it's time to remember that we're talking about a 7-year-old girl. And if that was your child, my child, their child, they would want somebody to do the right thing. So quite frankly, enough is enough. It's a 7-year-old girl. Let's find her, all right? Let's come together as a community and do the right thing. That's all I'm asking, and I don't think I'm asking a lot. If people think that I am, then I'll leave it at that.
In regards to the house on the west side, is
Yeah.
that where she was last seen or anything? Or have there been any prior calls in regards to anything involving a child there at that home, or?
That address on the west side you're referring to? Yes, at one point, Harmony was seen at that address. And that's why we had some interest in it yesterday, and if we need to continue to have interest in that address, we will.
Have there been any prior calls in terms of any, like, abuse of a child at that home?
I'm not going to get into the details of the calls for service that took place at that residence, because I do not want to impede any part of the investigation. My guess is you understand that.
Thank you, Chief.
Chief, where was she supposed to be over the last couple of years? In New Hampshire, Massachusetts, with father, with the mom?
Again, I'm not going to get into that. I'm not getting into the specifics of where she should have been or who she should have been with, other than to tell you that where she should have been and who she should have been with, she's not with those people, and she's not at that location.
Chief, are tips coming in, and if so, how many and how far away?
I just checked with one of Captain Layton's detectives before I came down. We're right around about 24, 25 calls that have come in, and Captain Layton's detectives simultaneously to conducting many other investigative matters. They're also diving into those tips as they come in, screening them out, determining the validity, and prioritizing those tips as they come in.
Surprised at all at that number? I think there's a lot of attention on this case right now. It seems like a low number to me, maybe. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's a little low, but I think a lot of it has to do is we're us, you, the community, the public, we're 2 years behind, right? And that's why if we have to stand up here every day, and that's why I need your help and your peers in the room to get this picture out as far a net as we can cast, and let's see where it brings us.
Is there anything more you can say about the Massachusetts connection, or?
I'm not going to comment on that at this time, no.
Chief, I know that nothing's a guarantee, but based on your comments about, begging people to come forward and so on and so forth, and no matter what the conditions are, do you believe, or do the police believe that she is alive?
Until somebody shows me something that she's not, we are in a mode, and I emphasized this morning, the two gentlemen behind me can testify to that, all right? I'm in rescue mode right now, all right? This is not a recovery, all efforts are focused on that Harmony is alive, and we are going to do everything we can to find her in that condition. Until somebody shows me something that points that she's not, then that may change my attitude or my perception on this. But for now, we have to operate under the assumption that she is alive and well somewhere, and somebody knows something. So again, to those out there listening to me, or tired of hearing my voice about this, too bad. Time to do the right thing and call in and start giving some legitimate information on where Harmony may be. Go ahead.
In the time that it said that she was last seen in October,
Yep.
is that last seen by police, or is that last seen by a family member? And have there been, since that time, been any indication that she had been seen somewhere else, but actually not seen?
That October,
You know what I mean?
yeah, I do. That October 2019 timeframe is when Harmony was last seen in the city of Manchester. All right, and that was by a combination of the Manchester Police Department and some other entities as well. All right, so that's that October 2009 timeframe when she was last seen in the city of
So
Manchester.
it's possible that in that time since, she could have been somewhere else, and what?
Anything's possible right now. Yep,
ECYF involved in this investigation, Chief?
they are. We're working with them.
What is their role?
They're assisting us with kind of the historical, if you will, on Harmony, and trying to they're actively involved with us in trying to locate her as well.